A light mist hangs in the air, soft and weightless, wrapping the rainforest in a blanket of mystery. Shafts of golden sunlight pierce through the canopy, slicing the shadows into ribbons of warmth and coolness. Somewhere high above, a whisper of movement stirs the leaves. At first glance, it seems like nothing. Just the wind teasing the branches, but if you look closer, you'll see it. A flash of emerald green scales, eyes like black pearls, unblinking and calculating. Let's explore with Animal Prime. In the world of predators, power is often loud and impossible to ignore. Think of lions roaring across the savannah or sharks slicing through open water. But here in these shadows lies another kind of power. Silent, patient, and almost invisible until it strikes. We are stepping into the hidden domain of super predators that don't chase the spotlight yet dominate their worlds with deadly precision. Snakes. And these aren't just any snakes. Today, we're talking about those that have evolved to become the ultimate survivors, each one a master of its environment and an artist of the hunt. From treetop assassins with eyes wide and unblinking, to giants lurking under the water's surface. From kings crowned in myth to shadows of the desert carrying venom strong enough to change your heartbeat. This is their world. Which of these stealth hunters rules the wilderness? Is it the tree-dwelling sniper that vanishes into the green, waiting for its perfect shot? The towering royal cobra, feared and revered for centuries? Or perhaps the silent, waterborne titan, as wide as your car and twice as heavy? Stick with us, because today we're uncovering 7 of nature's most remarkable snake predators. Each one is a symbol of evolution's creativity, beautiful, terrifying, and perfectly adapted to thrive where others would fail. And at the end of this journey, we'll meet a serpent so lethal, so silently efficient, it's known as the most venomous snake on Earth, a killer that hides in plain sight where few humans ever wander. So let's slip into the shadows, feel the weight of silence around us, and discover the snakes that redefine what it means to be a predator. High above the forest floor, where branches twist like veins and sunlight filters into shifting emerald patterns, a shadow glides silently. It's not the flutter of a bird or the scramble of a squirrel. It's something smoother, more deliberate. A flash of shimmering green moves like a painter's brushstroke across the canvas of leaves, and then stillness. The boomslang has arrived. Unlike many snakes that haunt the ground or burrow under rocks, the boomslang rules the treetops. Its name comes from Afrikaans, literally meaning tree snake, and that title fits it perfectly. Imagine a slender, perfectly balanced body wrapped in scales the color of jade, sometimes morphing to olive brown depending on gender and age. But it's the eyes that truly stop you in your tracks. Huge, rounded orbs, proportionally larger than almost any other snakes, perfectly adapted to spotting movement among the branches. Looking into those eyes feels unsettling, as though the forest itself is watching you back. Its movement is hypnotic. Each motion is slow, measured, graceful, more like a dancer rehearsing a piece of art than a predator on the prowl. But make no mistake, this is a killer, and one that hunts with astonishing precision. Perched high on a branch, the boomslang patiently watches the world below, scanning for birds, frogs, or lizards. When prey strays too close, there's no warning strike from the ground, no dramatic coil like a pit viper might make. Instead, it unravels in a smooth, fluid motion, launching from one branch to another with speed and elegance, striking with fangs designed not for intimidation, but for efficiency. And here's something remarkable. Those fangs sit at the rear of its mouth, what scientists call a rear fang system. In most snakes, this might be a limitation, but evolution turned it into a deadly advantage. The boomslang simply bites, holds, and then waits. It's hemotoxic venom quietly doing the rest. That venom is no joke. It destroys red blood cells, disrupts clotting, and can lead to internal bleeding so subtle that a victim might feel fine at first, only to collapse hours later. But for all its deadly potential, the boomslang is a shy creature. It doesn't seek out conflict with humans, and it rarely bites unless provoked. In fact, for decades, it was considered harmless simply because people almost never encountered it until a herpetologist in the mid-20th century tragically underestimated it and paid the ultimate price. That single event catapulted the boomslang from curiosity to snake of legend in the scientific community. Visually, it's one of the most cinematic snakes you could ever hope to capture on film. Picture this: sunlight streaming through the leaves, the camera following a vibrant green body weaving between branches. The shallow depth of field turning the background into an abstract painting of gold and green. A slow-motion strike shows its mouth gaping open nearly 120 degrees, something few snakes can do, before clamping down on an unsuspecting bird. The scene doesn't need dramatic music to be thrilling. The silence itself tells the story of an apex hunter working in total harmony with its world. There's something poetic about how the boomslang lives. It's neither the biggest nor the fastest, nor even the most venomous snake on Earth. Yet it thrives because it has mastered its environment. Its beauty, far from being a simple evolutionary quirk, is a survival strategy. Greens and browns that melt into leaves and branches, turning the snake into a living ghost among the treetops. And as we pull back from that serene yet chilling image of nature's arboreal assassin, we're reminded of one simple truth: not all power is loud. Sometimes, the deadliest predators are the ones you never hear coming, moving above your head as quietly as a passing thought. But what happens when the battlefield isn't high in the trees, but down on the ground, where raw size, reputation, and even mythology collide? For that, we head to Southeast Asia to meet a serpent unlike any other. A true monarch among snakes, one that stands tall, commands respect, and has been worshipped and feared in equal measure for centuries. The forest grows quiet when the king awakens. No bird dares to sing, no creature rustles in the undergrowth. There's an unspoken understanding in the animal kingdom. When the King Cobra rises, the world holds its breath. Imagine a snake so imposing it can rear up and look a grown adult in the eye, its head rising more than 4 feet off the ground. Its scales shimmer in shades of burnished bronze and earthy gold, catching glints of sunlight like ancient armor. Its hood, broad, iconic, unmistakable, flares in a slow, deliberate display of power, a warning that speaks across species and cultures. This is not a creature to challenge. For centuries, the King Cobra has been more than just a snake. In India and Southeast Asia, it is revered as both protector and destroyer, a symbol of fertility and immortality, woven into temples, folklore, and even royal insignias. Some see it as divine, a guardian spirit coiled around the edges of myth and reality. And when you see one in person, you understand why. Unlike most venomous snakes that hunt small prey, frogs, rodents, birds, the King Cobra has a taste for its own kind. Snakes are its preferred meal, often other venomous snakes. A true specialist, it tracks them using a forked tongue that can sense chemical trails left in the air. Once it finds its target, it strikes with incredible precision, injecting enough neurotoxic venom to stop the nervous system of its victim within moments. One bite carries enough venom to kill an elephant, or 20 humans. Though this king rarely wastes its crown power on anything that isn't on the menu. But there's something about the King Cobra that is almost regal in demeanor. It doesn't strike impulsively, nor does it rely on ambush tactics like so many of its venomous cousins. Instead, it often stands its ground, towering over threats, delivering a low growl-like hiss that resonates in your chest. That's right, a growl. Unlike the soft hiss of most snakes, the King Cobra can force air through its trachea in a way that sounds eerily like a roar. It's as if evolution itself decided that silence wasn't enough of a warning for a monarch. From a cinematic perspective, there's no snake on Earth more visually dramatic. Imagine a slow-motion shot of the cobra rising, hood spreading wide, sunlight bouncing off those polished scales as the camera tilts upward. Sweat beads on the brow of a wildlife photographer crouched just a few feet away. Every muscle frozen as the king leans forward, tongue flicking, eyes locked like twin embers. The background blurs, the forest's ambient sounds fade, and all that remains is the visual weight of one of nature's most commanding presences. And yet, for all its power, the king cobra is a surprisingly shy and intelligent animal. It avoids humans whenever possible, often retreating rather than engaging. When it's not hunting or defending its territory, it exhibits behavior rare among snakes. It builds nests. That's right, the king cobra is one of the only snakes on Earth known to construct a nest for its eggs, coiling around them to guard against predators until they hatch. Even the king, feared by almost all who encounter it, carries the quiet instinct of a caretaker. But even kings face threats. Habitat loss, human conflict, and illegal wildlife trade have put pressure on populations across their range. In some regions, what was once a revered guardian spirit is now hunted or feared into extinction. For wildlife filmmakers, capturing the king cobra isn't just about showing its size and power. It's about documenting a legacy that's under threat, a living relic of ecosystems that are disappearing. As the camera pulls back, the king cobra slowly lowers its head, gliding away like royalty exiting a throne room. The forest breathes again, life returning to the trees and underbrush as though a storm has passed. But for us, the image lingers, a reminder that sometimes power doesn't need speed or bulk or noise. Sometimes it's enough simply to stand tall and let the world know you are king. From towering kings to hidden ghosts, our journey now dives from the forests of Southeast Asia to the watery labyrinths of South America. Here lurks another giant, but one that hunts without venom, without warning, and without mercy. Its battlefield is water, its weapon is sheer size, and its legend is as heavy as its massive coils. The air changes when you step into the wetlands of South America. The ground squelches with every step, and the water's surface reflects a broken mosaic of sky and reeds. It's quiet here, eerily so. But beneath that calm, something massive stirs. You won't hear it, you won't see it, not until it's too late. This is the domain of the Green Anaconda, a creature so immense that even crocodilians avoid its path. At up to 29 feet long and tipping the scales at more than 200 kilograms, the Green Anaconda is not only one of the longest snakes in the world, but also the heaviest. Its body, thick as a man's torso, glides through water with a grace that belies its size. Coils patterned in dark green and golden hues ripple under the surface like an animated mural, perfectly camouflaged in the swamp's dim light. The anaconda is a master of patience. It lurks silently in rivers, marshes, and flooded forests, often with just its nostrils and eyes breaking the surface. To an unsuspecting capybara or caiman, the water might seem still and harmless, until the surface explodes. In a flash, thick coils erupt from below, wrapping with crushing force. There's no venom, no quick strike, just pure muscle and raw, unrelenting power. Prey suffocates in seconds, sometimes swallowed whole in one fluid motion that can take minutes to complete. Filming a green anaconda is a cinematic dream and nightmare rolled into one. Imagine a camera floating just above the waterline, catching the faint shimmer of scales moving like a submerged submarine. As the lens dips beneath the surface, we see an otherworldly scene. Beams of sunlight slicing through murky water, highlighting a massive coil tightening around prey. Slow motion captures every bubble, every tremor, as life drains from the anaconda's meal, and the silent giant reclaims its place beneath the waterline. What's remarkable about the green anaconda isn't just its size, but how quietly it dominates its ecosystem. It doesn't need venom or speed or intimidation displays. Its entire existence is about patience and power, a strategy honed over millions of years. It can go weeks without eating, waiting for the perfect moment to strike, then consuming a meal that could feed it for months. Culturally, the green anaconda has inspired myths and legends across South America. In some Amazonian tales, it's seen as a river spirit, half protector, half monster. Hollywood, of course, has portrayed it as a man-eating terror, exaggerating its behavior to near mythical proportions. In reality, while an anaconda is capable of taking down very large prey, including deer and even jaguars, it rarely poses a threat to humans unless provoked. Yet its legend endures, fueled by the sheer primal awe one feels when faced with an animal of such overwhelming scale. From a conservation perspective, The anaconda plays an essential role in controlling prey populations and maintaining the balance of wetland ecosystems. But like many apex predators, it faces threats from habitat destruction and human conflict. Wetlands are drained for agriculture, and snakes are sometimes hunted out of fear or for their skin. Each time an apex predator like this disappears, an entire ecosystem begins to unravel. From a cinematic standpoint, few moments are as gripping as witnessing a green anaconda in motion, coils sliding effortlessly through vegetation, eyes glinting just above the surface, the ripple of water marking its silent passage. It's not just an animal, it's a force of nature, a living reminder that raw power doesn't need to roar to be heard. As the camera pulls up and away, we leave behind the shadowy rivers and endless green of the Amazon basin, taking with us the haunting image of the anaconda disappearing underwater, leaving only a faint ripple behind. But where the anaconda is massive and physical, our next predator is all about deception and invisibility. Hidden under leaf litter, perfectly camouflaged, it waits not for hours, but for days, until prey is just close enough for one perfect, lightning-fast strike. We now step into the quiet forests of Africa to meet one of nature's most remarkable ambush hunters. Dressed in colors that rival an artist's palette, the Gaboon Viper. The forest floor is a puzzle of colors. Fallen leaves, damp soil, broken twigs, and shifting shadows. To the untrained eye, it looks like nothing more than nature's discarded canvas. But look closer and you might catch it. A subtle curve that isn't a leaf, a hint of symmetry that feels almost too perfect. That's when you realize you're looking at one of nature's most skilled masters of disguise, the Gaboon Viper. This snake is a living contradiction. It's massive yet invisible, terrifying yet still. Growing up to 6 feet long and weighing nearly 20 pounds, the Gaboon Viper is one of the heaviest vipers in the world. Yet despite its size, it might be the hardest snake to spot in its natural habitat. Its body is patterned with intricate shapes of browns, purples, and creams. An artist's palette designed by evolution to mirror fallen foliage. It doesn't just blend into its surroundings, it becomes its surroundings. The Gaboon Viper is an ambush predator of legendary patience. It will lie completely motionless for days, even weeks, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Its diet consists mainly of small mammals and birds, but when it does move, it moves with breathtaking speed and power. And here's the shocking part. It has the longest fangs of any snake on Earth, nearly 2 inches long, and delivers one of the largest doses of venom in a single bite. This combination makes it arguably one of the most efficient predators in the reptile world. But what makes it cinematic gold isn't just its stats, it's the way it hunts. Picture the camera slowly panning across a bed of autumn leaves. The music fades, replaced by silence and the faint sound of a breeze. The shot lingers on what appears to be nothing special until the Gaboon's head moves, almost imperceptibly, eyes locking onto an unsuspecting rodent. In a blink, it strikes. The attack is so fast it's almost impossible to capture in real time, less than a quarter of a second from start to finish. And then, as if nothing happened, it returns to stillness, becoming once again just another piece of the forest floor. There's something almost mystical about an animal like this. Unlike the anaconda, which dominates with brute force, or the King Cobra, which intimidates with size and presence, the Gaboon Viper wins with silence and invisibility. It's the perfect assassin, an apex predator built for precision over speed, patience over chaos. For local cultures, the Gaboon Viper often carries an air of superstition. Many indigenous communities in Central and West Africa view it with both fear and respect. Its presence is often considered a sign of good luck in hunting or crop fertility, provided you leave it undisturbed. That duality, danger and respect, mirrors our own complicated relationship with snakes as a whole. Filming the Gaboon Viper presents unique challenges. You can spend hours scanning the forest floor only to realize you've been standing near one the entire time. But when you find it, the reward is stunning. Extreme close-ups reveal skin patterns like an abstract painting, while macro lenses capture its eyes, vertical slits that glint like polished obsidian. Slow-motion footage of its strike is almost surreal, showing raw power and precision hidden behind perfect camouflage. From a conservation standpoint, Gaboon Vipers aren't as globally endangered as some snakes, but they face habitat loss like so many other forest-dwelling species. Logging and agricultural expansion threaten the intricate ecosystems they rely on, and with them goes one of nature's quietest marvels of evolution. As our camera pulls back, leaving the forest floor to its deceptive tranquility, we're reminded of one essential truth. Sometimes, survival isn't about being the fastest or the strongest. It's about being invisible, about waiting for the one perfect moment to act. But what happens when invisibility is paired with venom so potent it could end hundreds of lives from a single bite? For that, we journey from Africa's forests to the arid deserts of Australia, where a snake holds the crown as the most venomous on Earth, a creature known as the Inland Taipan, the silent assassin. The sun is relentless in the Australian outback, painting the desert in hues of gold and red. Heat shimmers on the horizon, and life clings to survival here, moving carefully, always watching. Yet beneath the cracked earth and scattered stones lives a creature so efficient, so deadly, that scientists often speak of it in hushed tones. The Inland Taipan, often called the fierce snake. At first glance, the Inland Taipan doesn't look like a monster. Its scales are modest shades of brown and olive, shifting slightly in color with the seasons to match its environment. Darker in winter, lighter in summer. There's no flamboyant hood like the King Cobra, no massive coils like the Green Anaconda, no intricate camouflage like the Gaboon Viper. And yet it holds one of the most feared titles in the animal kingdom, the most venomous snake on Earth. Just one bite from an Inland Taipan carries enough neurotoxin to kill more than 100 humans, or roughly 250,000 mice. Its venom is an ultra-efficient cocktail that shuts down the nervous system, causes paralysis, and leads to almost certain death without prompt treatment. But here's the twist: it's not aggressive. The Inland Taipan is shy, almost reclusive, and rarely encountered in the wild. It prefers to avoid confrontation, retreating into deep cracks and burrows rather than standing its ground like a cobra might. From a cinematic perspective, capturing the Inland Taipan is a study in contrast. Picture a wide, arid desert shot with a heat haze blurring the background. The camera slowly closes in on a smooth, slender body gliding silently across the sand, the head barely lifting as it follows the faint scent trail of prey, usually small mammals like native rats. There's no dramatic chase, no prolonged battle. Just one perfectly timed strike, a quick release, and then stillness as the venom does its work. It is precision distilled to its purest form, nature's silent assassin. Despite its fearsome reputation, very few bites to humans are recorded each year, mostly because of its isolated habitat. In fact, fatalities are almost non-existent thanks to anti-venom and the snake's tendency to flee. Yet the Inland Taipan serves as a stark reminder of how evolution doesn't always advertise power. Sometimes, the deadliest weapons are hidden beneath modest exteriors, waiting for the right moment to reveal themselves. In indigenous Australian culture, snakes often hold deep spiritual significance, seen as creators or guardians of waterholes and sacred places. While the Inland Taipan itself doesn't feature heavily in mythology, it embodies that same theme of hidden strength and respect for nature's balance, a creature that asks nothing more than to be left alone. For wildlife filmmakers, the Inland Taipan presents a unique challenge. Its reclusive behavior means spending days, even weeks, in remote desert environments, often with little success. But when you do find one, the reward is extraordinary. Macro shots reveal a smooth head with a blunt nose, eyes alert but calm, movements graceful and efficient. Slow motion footage of its strike, faster than the blink of an eye, becomes a study in biological perfection. From a conservation standpoint, the Inland Taipan is not currently endangered, but its remote habitat faces pressure from agriculture and climate change. Preserving its ecosystem means protecting not just the snake, but a web of life uniquely adapted to one of the harshest environments on Earth. And so, the Inland Taipan glides back into its burrow, disappearing into silence as quickly as it appeared. There is no fanfare, no roar, no display of dominance, Just an understated reminder that true power often comes quietly. But what happens when speed, not silence, is the weapon of choice? When fear isn't whispered but screamed through sheer velocity and raw, intimidating presence? For that, we head to the open savannas of Africa to meet one of the fastest, most feared, and most misunderstood snakes on the planet. The Black Mamba, Africa's lightning. The savanna hums with life, hooves pounding across dry earth, birds calling overhead, and the whisper of wind bending tall grasses. It's a place built on speed. Predators chase, prey flees, and survival is measured in fractions of seconds. In this world of relentless motion, one snake has evolved into the embodiment of velocity and fear itself, the Black Mamba, often called Africa's lightning. Despite its name, the Black Mamba isn't truly black on the outside. Its skin ranges from shades of olive to grayish-brown, but inside its mouth lies a cavernous, inky black interior, a warning sign to any would-be threat. And when that mouth opens, it usually means one thing: attack. The Black Mamba is infamous for its speed, capable of reaching 12 to 19 kilometers per hour, up to 12 km over short distances. In the snake world, that's less like a jog and more like a sprinting predator, designed to strike, retreat, and strike again before the prey even understands what happened. The Black Mamba doesn't rely on stealth like the Gaboon Viper, or raw size like the Green Anaconda, or ultra-potent venom like the Inland Taipan. Instead, it blends all three traits, stealth, power, and deadly venom, with one terrifying upgrade: sheer speed. This makes it one of the most feared snakes in Africa and one of the most iconic predators in the world. Its venom is primarily neurotoxic, capable of shutting down the nervous system in a matter of hours if untreated. But what's fascinating is its hunting strategy. Unlike many snakes that strike once and wait for the venom to take effect, the Black Mamba often delivers multiple lightning-fast strikes, injecting venom rapidly to ensure its prey doesn't escape. Antelope calves, birds, and even other snakes all fall victim to its precision. Cinematically, the Black Mamba is pure adrenaline. Imagine a long, tracking shot following its slender body weaving effortlessly through grass, the camera shaking slightly to capture the frantic speed. Cut to a slow-motion strike, its head lifting, mouth yawning open to reveal that deep black interior, then snapping shut in a blur of motion. The sound design alone, a rustle, a sharp hiss, the pounding of prey hooves, tells you everything you need to know about why this snake dominates the narrative of African wildlife. And yet, much of its terrifying reputation comes from misunderstanding. While it is highly venomous and lightning fast, the Black Mamba isn't naturally aggressive toward humans. Most encounters end with the snake fleeing to avoid conflict. It only becomes dangerous when cornered or threatened. In reality, this snake is a shy creature that prefers open space and solitude, doing everything possible to avoid confrontation. Still, there's no denying its cultural impact. From tribal stories painting it as a spirit of death, to its frequent role as a villain in films and media, the Black Mamba has become larger than life. For many African communities, spotting one can trigger both awe and dread, a reminder of nature's raw, unfiltered power. For filmmakers, capturing the Black Mamba is an electrifying challenge. To show its speed authentically, specialized high frame rate cameras are often used, slowing the action enough for audiences to appreciate its swift, fluid motions. Wide-angle shots of the savanna provide context for its speed, while close-ups on its striking face deliver a sense of intimacy and danger few other animals can match. From a conservation perspective, the Black Mamba isn't currently endangered, but like many predators, it suffers from habitat loss and direct persecution due to fear. Ironically, this snake plays an important role in controlling rodent populations, which benefits agriculture and reduces disease spread. Fear may drive humans to kill them, but in reality, the ecosystem needs them as much as they need the savanna. As we watch the Black Mamba disappear into the golden grass, one thought lingers: speed can be as much a defense as it is a weapon. In a world where survival often comes down to who moves first, Africa's lightning holds an evolutionary advantage that few animals can challenge. But while the Black Mamba rules with velocity and terror, another predator sends chills through the wild in an entirely different way. Not with speed, not with bright colors, but with a sound. A sound every cowboy, hiker, and rancher knows by heart. The dry, chilling buzz of a rattlesnake's tail. The sun dips low over the American West, painting the desert in burnt orange and dusty gold. Out here, life is written in silence, until you hear it, that sound. A dry, buzzing rattle slicing through the still air, sharp enough to stop even the most seasoned hiker in their tracks. It's a sound encoded in human memory, a primal warning that says, stay back, this is my space. Meet the rattlesnake, America's warning whisper, a predator as iconic to North America as the bison or bald eagle. It's not the fastest snake, nor the largest, nor the most venomous in the world. But what it lacks in size or speed, it makes up for in one of nature's most famous defensive adaptations, the rattle. Made of interlocking segments of keratin at the end of its tail, this rattle vibrates at incredible speeds when threatened, creating that unmistakable buzzing sound. It's a built-in alarm system, a promise and a warning rolled into one. Rattlesnakes, particularly the western diamondback, are masters of ambush hunting. They rely on cryptic coloration, lying motionless among rocks and scrub, blending seamlessly into the landscape. When prey, typically rodents, birds, or small mammals, wanders too close, the strike is lightning fast. Venomous fangs deliver a powerful hemotoxin that disrupts blood clotting in tissue, ensuring the prey is immobilized within moments. It's a perfect evolutionary design for a predator that lets the environment do most of the work. Hide, wait, strike. Cinematically, the rattlesnake is pure Western drama. Picture the camera low to the desert floor, closing in on a coiled shape half hidden in shadow. The rattle buzzes, vibrating so fast it blurs on screen, a living soundtrack to tension. The snake's head rises, eyes fixed, tongue tasting the air. Then, strike. Slow motion catches every detail, the mouth opening wide, fangs extending like curved knives, and the sheer kinetic energy of the strike before it snaps back into its defensive coil. This is nature's gunslinger moment, a showdown written in scales instead of spurs. Culturally, the rattlesnake holds a special place in American history and folklore. Native American tribes saw it as a symbol of fertility and renewal. Revolutionary War-era flags bore the iconic "Don't Tread on Me" rattlesnake, a mark of defiance and independence. Today, its image adorns everything from sports logos to military insignia, a creature that became a symbol of vigilance and strength. And yet, like so many predators, the rattlesnake's reputation has been unfairly twisted into that of a villain. Many are killed out of fear, despite the fact that they play a vital ecological role in controlling rodent populations. Without rattlesnakes, agricultural systems would face devastating pest problems. And thanks to their warning rattle, most rattlesnake encounters end peacefully. You hear them, you back away, and everyone goes home unharmed. For filmmakers, the rattlesnake offers a perfect blend of character and sound design. That iconic rattle isn't just a warning, it's a signature, a built-in soundtrack cue. Pair that with high-speed cameras capturing a strike or thermal imaging showing how these snakes use pit organs to detect heat, and you have footage that not only looks incredible, but also educates audiences about one of the most misunderstood predators in America. From a conservation perspective, many rattlesnake species are stable, but some face localized threats from habitat loss and persecution. Rattlesnake roundups, annual events where snakes are captured or killed for sport, remain controversial, raising questions about coexistence with wildlife. The truth is, these snakes are far less dangerous than their reputation suggests, especially when their warning system is respected. As the camera pulls back, the rattlesnake slithers away, leaving only the echo of its rattle behind. Like a whisper from the earth itself, "Respect me, and we both live." From the Treetop sniper, Boomslang, to the Regal King Cobra, from the silent underwater titan Green Anaconda, to the perfectly camouflaged Gaboon Viper, from the elusive Inland Taipan, to Africa's lightning-fast Black Mamba, and finally the iconic rattlesnake. Each of these predators tells a story about survival, evolution, and the delicate balance of ecosystems. Some rely on size, others on venom, still others on stealth or sheer speed. Yet every one of them reminds us of one simple truth. Predators are not villains in nature. They are vital, keeping populations in check, preventing disease spread, and maintaining the health of ecosystems we all depend on. And beyond their biological roles, they inspire awe. Their colors, patterns, and behaviors are art forms sculpted by millions of years of evolution. They're not just dangerous, they're beautiful, mysterious, and deeply necessary. So as we close our journey through the shadowed world of snake super predators, one question lingers. Which of these extraordinary hunters impressed or terrified you the most? Was it the silent assassin lurking under leaves, the king that can look you in the eye, or the whispering guardian of the American West? Tell us in the comments. We'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you want more cinematic journeys into nature's most fascinating creatures, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. Because out there, beyond the edges of our cities and roads, nature still writes the greatest stories, and we're just getting started.